Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Strife Championship Series qualifying tournament number 1. We are currently in day 2, and this is going to be our last best of 3 of the night. The winner of this next game versus between Kaizen and Please will decide who goes on and qualifies for the Strife Championship Series. Never fear, anyone who's knocked out during this tournament still has a chance to come back next week and take the victory. I am Azaraki Dragon. I've casted for so far up until this point, but I am actually going to be replaced now with Lake, so your two casters now for this game are going to be Lake and the Source. How you guys doing?
Tired. Been casting all day.
I'm doing okay. I actually took a break to watch the Detroit Lions game, and it didn't turn out for me, so I can't roar. Sorry, Tridion.
All right, well, we'll be getting into this game momentarily. I believe we have the picks and bans started. First ban coming out from Senpai Please Notice Me is going to be Vex. The ban coming out from Kaizen going to be Harrower. So none of the tanks being banned, and Senpai Please Notice Me picking up the Bastion and Claudessa, followed by Vermilion. So the double tank composition and an AD carry. On the other side, Kaizen grabbing Bo and Ray.
So that Harrower ban, a lot of people have been seeing the tanks banned out, so one team gets one and the other team gets the other, typically on a pretty even draft phase. Sometimes you'll see some people mess up or maybe on purpose, and they're letting the two tanks go through to one team. But that Harrower ban is a specific target ban. Kaizen knows that Artemis plays a very, very good Harrower in that bot lane. He sits down there, he farms up until he hits late game Harrower status, and he walks into two-shot carries. So he changed his name to Pipiru, so you'll see him more, or you would have seen him play that Harrower. So that was more definitely a respect ban more than anything else. Because of that, that opened up the double tank pick for PLS. They have a really good Bastion player in Shinjo, formerly known as Tang. He likes to use the Bastion as more of a roam, affect other lanes. He's taken a lot of different coaching from a couple other players to try to figure out how to use that Bastion in a very good roam scenario, and he's been doing a great job on it. On top of that, Claudessa is a very good late game tank. She offers a lot of sustain in lane. The only thing you have to worry about with Claudessa is surviving the early game levels 1 through 4. After that, she does fairly well. Topped off with the Verm. Verm's a very good pick for them. It's a comfort pick. You'll see Verm probably have a fairly big impact in this game, so I'm really excited to see that. And then on the other end, you have Bo and Ray. Bo last game was played by Mantikias, and wow, he played an amazing Bo. I counted how many times I watched really good Bo ulties, or just like out of the blue random re-engages, and he just ults 3 to 4 people against a wall, followed up by that stun with the inner rage already procced. It was really good play. I'm really excited. I'm hoping I get to see him play it. But they also have the Ray. Ray's a really good counter engage for the Bastion. Kind of keeps the Claudessa out of that backline, so it's a good utility pick to the damage.
Yep, and Strife Drafter is actually bugged, so they've been finishing up their picks in chat. For the side of Kaizen, they've picked, I believe it was Tinder and Fetter, so their full team right now is Bo, Ray, Tinder, and Fetterstone. On the other side, Senpai Please Notice Me has grabbed Carter and Rook for their last 2 picks.
All right, so Carter and Rook, very good pickups. They do have a Carter player on their team. Kiwi Dude plays a really good Carter on PLS's side. Rook, Artemis, Pipiru, he's known for his Harrower and Rook play, so he got his other comfort pick. So that is really good for PLS as far as being able to pick a composition that they're comfortable on, especially against Kaizen coming into this match. They steamrolled their last game. They played extremely well. They had really good calls. They had a very questionable Baldir call, which led to a wipe. They started to clean that up. Their calls got a lot cleaner going on to the later in that game, and I'm excited to see if they're able to keep that clean play going in against PLS.
And we're still waiting for pick out from Kaizen. What do you think they could go? They've got Bo, Ray, Fetterstone, and Tinder. Will they go with, maybe a malady, or is it likely to be something, a Trixie for some long range poke?
So they actually have a variety of things they can do. They can actually run the Featherstone in the bot lane. Um, I'm not sure if they'll do it versus the Rook. They may. It's a skill matchup from what I've heard, being the Featherstone and the Rook. So I could see them running Fetter in the bot lane, which would open up them to be able to pick up like a Blazer. Um, or they could go the other route and actually pick up another AP or Magic carry. You could pick up Trixie, Malady, Caprice. Those are all picks that are available right now. Or they could run the Ray in the bot lane. I'm not exactly sure. Right now their picks are very versatile, so I guess we'll find out.
They seem to have gone with Blazer as their final pick. So they'll go with Blazer for that burst potential and the ability to pick single targets.
Yeah, so that makes sense. I definitely expected the Blazer. Featherstone does fairly well. It's a skill matchup versus the Rook, and Featherstone can survive that burst from the Rook. Blazer fits a good team fight synergy with Kaizen. They like to do a lot of roams lately. They like to try to get picks and force odd man plays. So that Blazer's going to fit their play style. And I'm excited to see who plays what, because they've been using their roster and swapping a lot of people on different roles and different heroes and trying to really expand their hero pool. So they're an exciting team to watch.
Yep. So we had a disconnect. Believe it was PP Roo. Got disconnected from the game. He should be back in here soon. So we've seen these guys play some phenomenal series over the course of the tournament. Kaizen getting knocked down early, fought their way through the losers bracket. Senpai, please notice me. They've basically been waiting and watching for a while. They got all the way to the winners bracket semifinals. They played up against SG. SG beat them down. Who do you think has advantage in this matchup?
I think skill wise, I'm going to give a slight edge to Kaizen. They've cleaned up their roster quite a bit. They've tried to bring in new talent, and they brought in someone that I really respect as a shot caller, and that's Hogan. He does a lot of good plays, and he tries to keep the team together. I think the hardest part as a new shot caller is getting your team to actually do what you want them to do when you want them to do that. So if they can do that, I think that they can pull ahead. Not to count PLS out, they've always been a go-to team as far as the top three in North America. They are very consistent. They did have a roster swap. They used to have Yesio, so Alejandro's been filling in, or not filling in. He's part of the team now, and he's been doing a pretty decent job. He's been learning a lot in scrims, and that is good as long as he can show constant improvement, which he has been. We've been watching him play, and he's been improving quite a bit. I think that this game is going to be fairly even, and I don't know who's going to win. It's going to be 50-50.
All right, so we are. PPR is having some issues. He should be back in here, hopefully pretty quick. I think right now, Senpai, please notice me. They have to be going in with some confidence. They made it pretty far within the tournament. How much do you think? We did just see. I believe it was Papa Please. They were able to. They won game one really handily. Picked kind of a not a trolley comp, but picked a very, very aggressive comp and just never let up on the pressure. How much do you think the momentum of Senpai Please Notice Me is going to help them in this matchup?
I think that Senpai Please Notice Me is very confident. They play against Kaizen quite a bit. They've also scrimmed. PLS has opened up their scrim schedule to actually scrim a lot of the other pro teams like Surreal Gaming. They've had quite a few scheduled scrims with them. They've also scrimmed a lot of the EU teams as well. I think PLS is extremely confident against Kaizen, especially because they've scrimmed in the past, and I think the upper hand definitely goes towards PLS as far as scrims go. But those are obviously scrims. You're there to test stuff out, so you're not exactly showing your hand all the time. So it's hard to say, but it is 50-50, but the slight edge is going to go towards PLS in my favor, in my mind.
All right, well, perfect. I didn't have to start pitching other random things and driving us to other forms of conversation. PP is back into the lobby. We should be getting into game momentarily. Thank you guys for watching. This has been a great event. We've gotten a lot of great viewership. The games have been amazing. The teams have been great. This is the Strife Championship Series qualifier number 1. The second qualifier will be going on next weekend at the same time, 12 p.m. EDT. That's noon on the East Coast. We will be having another double elimination bracket. If you guys feel confident, sign up. There are still 4 spots, or after this match, there'll be 4 spots left for teams to make it into the Strife Championship Series, which is a 6-week league. You're playing for $5,000 prize pool. It is a bit of a fixed schedule, so you'll be playing every single week. Every match is going to be broadcasted. Every match is going to be streamed. And we hope to bring you guys as much good Strife content as humanly possible. Both teams say that they're ready. And we should be getting into game in just a few seconds. Lake, any shout-outs you want to do in the meantime?
No, I just want to thank everyone for watching. We're really excited about the Strife Championship Series, and we're really happy about the support and feedback that we got. I went out to speak with several players, teams, people that I respect in the community yesterday, and I've got nothing but good feedback from them. So hopefully we can continue to provide good quality content and keep this championship series as professional and as action-packed as possible, and we'll have a good season.
Yeah, and you guys are the viewers. That is why we produce these events. So if there is something you guys want us to improve on, do not hesitate to let us know. You guys can contact the admins. You can contact a lot of us on Twitter. I'll trust the production channel to throw the Twitter and our contact info in there for you guys to send any suggestions. If you like us, tell us we're doing well. If you don't like us, tell us why you don't like us. Don't just tell us you hate us. Tell us why. There's no point in giving us constructive criticism unless it's actually constructive. But we are getting into game number 1 between Kaizen and Senpai. Please notice me. This is the Strife Championship Series qualifier number 1. I'm the source. Joining me is Legs, and this is brought to you by Surreal Productions and Gamebox Voice Done Right. Let's take a look at some of these starting item choices as soon as everybody's actually loaded in. A couple of people are still loading in their percentages. Kaizen or Ryzen. I wonder if he's going to go with those early power boots. Ray, he seems to like that a lot.
I think he may go for a Cleric's Chalice, maybe in this bot lane to kind of give him some of that regen, that health regen, sustain a little bit in the bot lane. Once he gets that, I'm almost positive he is going to go for a power boots build. It's not uncommon. Especially for someone like Ryzen, he feels very confident in that bot lane and his ability to position well. So those power boots are good pickups, especially for him because they're very cost-efficient power items. But just to talk about this match in general, you have 2 of the top NA teams, probably the third out of the top 4 NA teams. These 2 are in it, and I'm really excited to watch these 2 teams duke it out. They are very strong. They have a few roster changes. Kaizen made some good roster changes this past week, and I'm just excited to see them grow to their potential.
All right, so a lot of basic regen items. Actually, PP were going with health crystal and or health shard and power shard, so not going with any regen there. Pretty much everyone else has got regen. There's a fell blade on R&R, so that feather stone. Standard lanes, you think?
Yeah, for the most part, you're going to have the top lane. It's going to be more of a farm lane. The Featherstone Tinder is a very strong lane, has some poke, good harass, good sustainability with the Tinder. In the mid lane for Kaizen, you have the bow Blazer, which is a kill lane. Essentially at level 2, they're really strong. They have the potential to kind of all in with the double stun with the inner rage from bow and the tether coming out from Blazer. It's a very good, strong lane. Not to mention the roam potential from those 2 once they hit level 6. And then in that bot lane, we've seen Ryzen play Ray quite a few times. I'm just excited to see Ryzen play Ray against a decent player. I know that Ray is good versus Rook early levels, but once Rook hits a certain point, Rook will outscale the Ray. So I'm interested to see how that matchup goes because he is Pipiru is one of the best rooks in the game. So watching those two go at it is going to be really fun. And then on the other end, you have the Bastion and the Carter. Really good lane. Has some kill potential, especially at level 6. You have the safety of the shield coming out from Bastion, the stun, and you have the all-in potential at level 6. And prior to that, Carter's just a really strong pickup. And then in the top lane, you have the Claudessa Verm. Another strong lane. They really rely on that Claudessa Q to become a kill lane. Overall, it has a lot of sustainability with the fact that Claudessa does have the heal. She has some AoE clear, so she can kind of help counter some of that clear that Tinder can use with her W. And I think the top lane, for the most part, unless there's some kind of random hooks that come out, is going to be a pretty farmy type lane.
So early advantage in the bottom lane to Ryzen. He was able to get that early level 2 and get that push going. Middle lane, pretty even so far, both sides taking a little bit of damage, and like you said, top lane it's going to come down to a hook, although we've seen Mantiqueus land some very, very strong hooks, so I'm surprised he's not on the bow. Actually, Dudley going really, really deep. Can they get onto HGN? Actually, Sanjo taking a lot of damage there. Out comes the both, or 1 or 2 more basic attacks, but Nachiko is there to fend him off and force him to back up. I thought they were going to get HGN there, but no play, and they didn't manage to get off the remaining basic attacks they needed.
Yeah, both these comps in the mid lane have the ability to kill each other, especially at level 2. So you're going to see a lot of just back and forth trades in this mid
nice
lane.
Hook up in the top lane onto Santanaka. He one more auto attack and he would have gone down. Now onto Alejandro. Can R&R get off another Q? He pops the shield, and that gives them a huge bit of burst, but no CC left to pick up Santanaka or Alejandro. They're going to pop out some potions and survive. Meanwhile, in the middle lane, again, Nachiko very, very low. Dudley is also low, so a pretty even trade between the two of them. HGN is able to pick up first blood, and now Sandro Hara is going to need to back up. He can't continue to regress that, and back up in the top lane. Mantiqueus is getting very, very low. Santanaka needs a little bit more damage there. A lot of burst out of Fetter, so nice hook in by Mantiqueus. One more shot into Alejandro, and he will go down. Can R&R finish the job? He's almost got it. A nice heal, and Alejandro is going to live. Santanaka dishes out some damage. That'll force them to back up. Phenomenal trades between these two teams.
Yeah, really good. They definitely traded well in that top lane. I think that the Verm just nitpicking the attack move feature, he could have gotten maybe one more auto attack off. It wouldn't have gotten the kill, so it's not that big of a deal, but it could have out-pressured R&R from continuing to try to attack that Claudessa.
Mantiqueus has been pretty good with these hooks so far. I'm surprised he's a few of them have been really good, you know, on the back turn of fights. Dudley taking a bit of damage in the middle lane, throws down his totem to help them regen up a bit. I like the Carter. I like that we're seeing him a little bit more. It's mostly been just a ton of Malady. You know, why do you think people play more Malady than they do Carter? Is it the skill of Carter, or is it just the meta?
It's just the ability that Malady has to 100 to 0 somebody. It's the same with Carter, but Malady just has so much more synergy with someone like a Bastion than Carter does. So that's why you typically will see like those Malady, because the utility from the wall, the knock up, the 100 to 0 ability, it's just all strong.
Alright, well, up in the top lane, Alejandro sneaking around. Does get the Dragon's Reach back onto R&R, but he's going to be protected by the shield, and now turns, hits R&R in the face. They almost get off that bindweed, and back in the mid lane, Dudley stepping a little too close to that bush. Sandra Hara doing a little bit of damage. The snare from HGN doesn't land, and Nachiko waiting in the wings to just start dishing out some damage. We haven't seen much in this bottom lane. It's mostly been PB farming under the tower. He's losing a lot, though. That's about 200 GPM difference between him and Ryzen. They're going to need to do something to slow down Ryzen's aggressive pushing.
Yeah, and that's going to happen. I think at a certain point, the Rook, he got the Damp Cloak in the mid lane. Wow, look at that. That all-in potential that I was talking about with the Bastion, or the bow being able to go in with the Inner Rage, followed up with the Tether coming out from the Blazer. Very strong initiation.
Yeah, no, that was really, really fast. I didn't get to turn and watch much of that. Meanwhile, up from the top end, Alejandro is going to get hooked back in, gets slowed down a little bit more damage, and they'll be able to pick him up. But R&R doesn't have his ultimate. They don't have the chase potential. And in mid lane, HGN takes a ton of damage there. He's going to throw down the snare. Is there going to be enough to stop Sandro Hara? It will. And now Dudley is going to have to body block all of these, but it's not enough. Sandro Hara is able to pick up the kill using his fits, and that is going to be a revenge kill over for Senpai Please Notice Me. Up in the top lane, it looked like Mantikias was going to be able to land another snare, but no, Dice misses that onto Sanjohara. And the ultimate comes up. That was a nice play. They do get the Dragon's Reach as well as the deliverance out of the Rook from all the way down in bottom lane. Can they get Mantikias? One or two more auto attacks. There's a nice snare onto Alejandro. Is it going to be the revenge kill? R&R cannot follow up on it, and that's going to be, Senpai Please Notice Me, clawing back some of that gold difference in kills.
Yeah, at this point in time, you definitely need to help out your bot laner because the Rook, he does have that damp cloak. All you have to do is just kind of set him ahead just a little bit and he can catch back up. I think that's why Shinjo is looking for an opportunity to kind of roam in that mid lane, and he's able to do that because Carter can very easily 2v1. He can farm well under tower. He just has to be wary of the the all-in potential coming out from the bow and the blazer.
Yep, so you're right, that Chalice there for Ryzen. Is he finishing anything else? That looks like those were just potions. He does have that Chalice, so that'll give him the regen in comparison to Rook, who had to build that dampening cloak pretty much just to survive the lane. Sanjohara and Nachiko waiting off on the side. They're going to go on to Dudley, do a little bit of damage, but Dudley wants Nachiko. He's going to aggress forward. The snare is going to land, and the rocket onto HGN. That might be enough for them to pick him up. One or two more auto attacks. Can Sanjohara finish the job? He will. He picks up another kill. Now they turn on to Dudley. A little bit more damage from Nachiko will finish the job. He's going to be able to dash away. Dudley is going to be able to heal himself up under tower, but that's another kill going over to Sanjohara, and they're starting to contain this Blazer.
Yeah, absolutely. The bow, I feel like that was a misplay by Dudley. Dudley held on to his ultimate. He had the ability to actually take that Carter and push him against the wall and or just push him in a direction at all. Holding on to that ultimate is one of the worst things you can do.
Yeah, Nachiko roaming down here to try and make a pick on Ryzen, but I'm pretty sure Ryzen knows what's going on. HGN has picked up the Vision Totem, and PPR is waiting off to the side. It looked like they might want to make a play, but they're going to rotate Nachiko back into the middle lane. Now Sanjohara making his way up top, looking for a gank, is running through that regen, but again, they saw the rotation out of the middle lane. Some of these plays were just a little too obvious, and Kaizen isn't going to fall for them. They're going to continue to push their lanes, and the difference in Ray Gold to Rook is diminishing, but they still need to do something about that to get Rook a little bit more ahead.
Yeah, and it's perfectly fine. It's okay that Shinjo is looking for opportunities to gank, especially with that Bastion. He's an extremely good Bastion player, and in my opinion, one of the kind of unknown top Bastion players within the North American scene. And you could see Blazer actually coming in that top lane looking to pull off a gank.
Yeah, but Blazer did stop. HGN waited, didn't pull the trigger immediately. Dudley takes a little bit of damage in the mid lane. I think if Blazer just sort of run in there, might have been able to catch Santanaka, but no dice there. Now Blazer going back into the middle lane. HGN just continuing to roam around the map. May want to spend a little time farming, but it's probably not going to hurt them too much. And now they've got a nice gank coming in from Bastion. PBR is going to go aggressive onto Ryzen. Does he have the ultimate? It's actually already been used. Sanjohara is going to run right into Ryzen. He's going to look to get down the stun. Does a ton of damage to him. A little bit more burst straight through him. Sanjohara is able to shut down Ryzen, and that is going to be huge for Santanaka. No, Pipiru. Both of those are the AD carries. It's going to be huge for Pipiru playing that Rook. He'll be able to start to regain some of the goal difference between him and that Ray.
And that's just some of the power you see by Shinjo running that Bastion. Like I said, once you get him rolling on Bastion and let that guy roam, he's just going to affect the game so much, and he's actually allowing that Carter to kind of make up for getting killed in that mid lane by letting him solo farm, and he's a very good 2v1er. Carter can take on majority of all matchups in 2v1 and come out fairly okay.
A lot of damage up in the top lane onto Alejandro. He actually got bursted pretty hard. R&R, he hits okay right now, but not really hard enough, I think, to deal with the damage of Santanaka's Demon Fang. And now R&R takes a bit of damage, dukes away from the Demon Reach, the Dragon's Reach. And now it looks like in mid lane they're going to try and make a play onto Dudley. Dudley's going to back up. He realizes he's low on health. And that's going to be some aggressive pushing coming out from Senpai Please Notice Me. They're starting to push out the lanes that aren't bottom. Going to get a little bit of tower damage here. And Sanjohara is zoning out the Blazer. And now Sanjo Hara wants to go back in. So much damage down to Dudley. There's going to be a nice snare onto Nachiko. That's going to reduce what he can do. He's going to get off the huge rocket. Gets in the shot. It's going to be the firework plus the basic attack. Now Nachiko, he needs a little bit of help. Sanjo Hara is going to need to get down the stun really, really soon. Is Nachiko going to live? 1 or 2 more auto attacks. HGN is so low, but Bastion comes in. Sanjo Hara is just doing so much there. And Santanaka up in the top lane, getting chased down by RNR. Alejandro needs to back up, and they will be able to get out of there. That's huge for Sanjo Hara. He's doing an amazing job on this Bastion.
That kite from Carter, using the bushes and that pillar to kind of kite around and force Hogan into a bad situation by trying to chase. He wanted that kill so bad, but it was just such good kite and peel coming out from Shinjo that the 2 for nothing is a great trade there for that mid lane. It's going to allow them to free up and help their other lanes out so much.
Yeah, I think also the fact that PBRU is still just under so much pressure. Nachiko, they should be able to push down this middle turret fairly soon. Blizzard's actually sneaking around HGN and Ryzen. They want to shut down PBRU so hard. It's going to probably be a snare over the wall as soon as HGN feels confident. He's going to use that stuff. Ryzen is stepping forward. PBRU has to know what's going on. No, it's a little bit too late. He's going to get snared. He tries to get away. The snipe is there, but one more auto attack from HGN picks up the kill. Now here comes the rotation in from Sanjo Hara. He's looking to just continue the defense and let Carter, Nachiko push out the mid lane. And,
Sorry, I was just going to say that was a really, really good rotation coming out from Hogan there. He knew that PBRU is are having a tough time in this game, and he took advantage of that. Ryzen's definitely ahead in the bot lane, and he used his stealth ability to go in there and continue to keep the Rook shut down. That's going to be key going later into this game, is the fact that Ryzen on Ray was able to shut down the Rook, and then Hogan went down there to actually facilitate and continue it.
They almost got an ultimate up in the top lane. They sent the Rook out really, really far. Almost hit RNR, but I think there was a little bit too much aggression. And now Dudley coming in from the side should be able to get onto Alejandro. Actually misses the stun. And it's going to be a nice snare, but he's just a little too deep. They can't follow up onto that. And now Sanjo Hara and Nachiko in this middle lane should be able to push down this tower. I don't think Hogan can do anything about this. Although Bo is rotating in and they don't feel confident about this play, they're worried that Ryzen is rotating in from the side. Ryzen actually backs at that time, so they could have pushed the play there. If you're down in this bottom lane, continuing to farm, he's got his power boots, so it's starting to hurt a little bit. And a nice Dragon Reach up in the top lane. RNR is going to get picked off by Santanaka. Alejandro there to body block out that snare. And now Hogan is up here in the top lane. Can he make a stealth play come in? He should be able to land the snare onto either one of them. And they've also got Bo and Ryzen. Everybody is making their way up here. It's going to be HGN going in from the backside. Mantikey is charging onto them. Dudley's going to come in. He's going to look for the snare. They're going to get it onto Alejandro. Alejandro is actually going to break the CC and he's going to be running. Now Santanaka, he may have juked all of them. He's going to need to be careful. He uses the ultimate to jump over the wall. Meanwhile, in the middle lane, Ryzen gets run down by Sanjo Hara. They should be able to rotate it and back up Santanaka, or at least just push this tower. They have a minion wave there. I think they have the positioning to take this. If not, they should be able to pick up a kill or at least defend. They're not going to lose anybody for that, and that was an amazing play by Senpai Please Notice Me. The gold lead is now in their favor.
That was completely unfortunate for Kaizen. They tried to go up there, try to get the kills. Ryzen went mid to try to hold it.
Ooh, snipe almost hits onto Hogan. He needs to be careful. Those snipes are getting really, really close.
They're getting close, and they're allowing PBRU to get back into the game, and just the outplays of mobility coming out from Senpai Please is just astonishing right now. They did get the mid tower. They're going to go in. They're going to probably try to push this tier 2 while Kaizen is going to try to get that outer top tower, which is, with Kaizen in mind, that's a good trade for them. They need to try to get something going their way besides their bot lane.
Well, that will be the tower going down. Alejandro tanking it up. Wanted to finish the job. He's going to get snared back in. He's probably going to die there, but they're going to trade 1 for 1. No, Dudley bashes away. One auto attack would have finished the job. They're going to trade 1 body for 1 tower. Down in the bottom lane, Ryzen was able to stop PBRU from finishing that tower by 1 auto attack. Nachiko, you best be careful. Ray was rotating in. It's going to be the Baldir for Kaizen, so they were able to turn that around, got a tower, got a kill, and this Baldir should set their gold lead ahead a little bit, except for Sanjo Hara. He's feeling pretty confident. He's going to go in and get snared. Dudley is going to try and get on top of him. They're going to get a lot of damage down on him. Is Dudley going to fall before Sanjohara does? He's going to ult him backwards. And Dudley, again, he lives by the skin of his teeth. Amazing plays here out of Kaizen. They're able to keep Dudley alive and just bait out so much. If Dudley had died in that last fight, he wouldn't have been there for that play. Now Santanaka is coming in. Can they make a play happen here? Hogan is going to take a lot of damage, and they're going to pick up the ball here, but RNR is going to go down. Can they pick up Dudley? Dudley should surely fall. He's really deep into the enemy team. Carter needs one more auto attack. That's going to be the difficult. Meanwhile, down in bottom lane, Pipiru picks up the kill onto Ryzen. He'll be able to pick up that tower, and what looked like Kaizen's turnaround and regain of the lead has gone back to Senpai Please Notice Me. They'll pick up a tower, they'll pick up some kills, and they'll start to push back against the Ray, which, in all honesty, is a lot of this, the real power coming out of Kaizen Gaming right now.
Yeah, it's not looking very good, especially because at this point in time, Rook can kill that. He could kill that Ray. That Ray had the solo farm. He's down there. Rook is going to be a threat, and the way that his play style is, Pipiru is going to sit down in that bot lane and continue to push. He's going to force people down there, and if the Ray can't 1v1, then he's not going to be able to help his team. He's not going to be able to use that power and that early aggression and that help that that lead that he gained by himself in that bot lane. He's not going to be able to help his team out with that. So Senpai Please is doing a good job. They did lose the ball dear, but they're able to trade a few kills immediately after. They did get the tier 3 in the middle and the tier 2 in the middle. So overall, those are all even trades, but slight gold lead going out to Senpai Please right now, and they're looking to actually get more using the high ground.
Kaizen needs to be careful about walking towards this area. If Sanjohara continues to play the way he is, he's doing a great job of controlling, a lot of these team fights. Now, the top lane tower for Kaizen is at full health. That won't be too difficult for Santanaka to push down. He's going to bring Alejandro with him so that they can finish that one off. Nachiko has done a good job of defending this middle turret. It's actually at full health, so one turret up for both teams, but the middle turret is so much harder to take and also worth a lot more in terms of map positioning. So until that goes down, I'd say Senpai Please Notice Me has map control. Not sure what Kaizen's doing. They're rotating a lot of people down here. This has got to be a full team rotation for PP. He's not going to see Ray. He actually does see Ray and starts to run. He has got to get out of there. In comes Hogan. He's going to get the snare down. It's going to be the invulnerability. Can he finish off Hogan? Hogan's actually going to fall. And PP was alive. One or two more auto attacks and he'd be finished, but a nice Everwinter Charm. Mantikias is trying to go in there. They've got Nachiko on the backside of the map. A little bit more damage. Down Deadly Nachiko comes in. Sanjohara is still alive too. Can he get out of there? One more auto and he'll go down. The Fitz, he's alive. That was amazing play out of Senpai Please Notice Me, and they've got two people pushing up in the top lane. They've taken one tower. They'll take a second. I don't know where any of that play came from, but that was amazing.
It was overextension by Kaizen. They tried to force a lot of plays. They used a lot of stuff. They used the Wind Rush. They used the Blazer Ultimate. They tried to use all that speed to get in there, get the pick, and Pipiru was actually able to pull out a kill. Amazing play by PLS. They got a tower out of it. They got a few kills. No one died. I can't believe no one died there. My jaw was just sitting on the floor. It's amazing play by Senpai Please. Good try by Kaizen. They're just trying to force too much right now. There's tons of other stuff on the map. There's a lot of other objectives. They do have some strengths in their team. They need to start letting this Featherstone get to a point where he could possibly 1v1 this Rook.
Well, that's going to be a Baldir pickup. They're going to be able to jump their gold lead to 8,000 now. Strife is different from a lot of MOBAs that gold lead can shift with one team fight. Now Alejandro, he's going to find a couple of targets, doesn't manage to get double snare. Santanaka and Alejandro getting blocked up by the bind and the bind beam, but an amazing ultimate out of Santanaka that may be able to help his team take the fight back. Alejandro is very, very low. He's actually going to walk out of that. Sanjohara was able to come into the fight and pick up one kill. They brought down Bo, they brought down Dudley and HG, and this may be the generator. They have so much coordination with these team fights and just a great understanding of how much damage is being dealt. Nachiko is waiting off here to the side to possibly pick Ryzen when he comes around the corner, or RNR. One of the two. Ryzen, I'd be careful. He's going to throw the burrow bot into the wall, but he's going to get destroyed. Sanjohara is a beast here onto Mantikias. Can they get RNR before he can get near Nachiko? They will, and that's going to be an ace. A delayed ace, but still an ace, and they're going to rotate right onto Sindar. The only person who is up is Blazer. I don't know what Hogan's going to be able to do to stop this. This is play out of Senpai Please that, had they had in the series against Surreal Gaming, they could have won that.
Yeah, absolutely. So across the board right now, what Kaizen needs to do is they need to keep these side lanes pushed. They have the ability to get some picks. They have the Blazer. They have the, speaking of Blazer, trying to go in, not really going to do anything by tossing in the tether, but they have the Shadow Veil on Ray. They have the Blazer ultimate. They have the ability to try to get picks prior to Krydos pushing down any lane. If they can pull a few picks off, it's going to delay their dive potential, and they're not going to essentially dive. They may push with the Krydos, but it's going to allow them to keep their generators alive. In the meantime, they can use some of their power, some of their split push power. They do have a lot of wave clear to try to defend up. Ray's really fed as far as being in that bot lane, doing extremely well, had good GPM. He's going to be able to do a lot of damage to this Krydos as it pushes down the mid lane. They just need to make sure that their side lanes are pushed up and try to work for a pick here. And I think that they could turn this game around.
All right, Senpai, please notice me looking to push with Krydos. They actually switch shifted Krydos into the bottom lane. So they're going to look for Krydos to either draw targets or push. And oh no, this was so smart by Senpai, please notice me. The moment they see Kaizen down there, they're going to be able to force onto the top or onto the middle generator. I think they're waiting. Yep, no, Alejandro is going to go out. They've forced the rotation. Now, 3 members from Kaizen, they weren't completely fooled. They figured that this might be the play. They're going to send one person down there. Ryzen is going to... actually, he's backing. They're letting Krydos push because they realize if they don't do this properly, they're going to get outmaneuvered. And again, they actually managed to get Krydos further down the lane. So they actually want to take as many outer turrets as they can. This was a great play by PLS to bait them to one side and then force them to come back, and now they've managed to get Krydos all the way up that lane without it being a problem.
Yeah, absolutely. So that was one of the very good strat for actually keeping Krydos at full health without taking all that Ray Mine and poke damage coming out from them. And that was a good play. If they didn't react, that would have been a generator. So Kaizen had to react to that play, and because they reacted to that play, it left Krydos full health. So really good move by PLS.
Alright, well, Krydos is going to knock down that generator. It's not doing anything. Santanaka starting to do a little bit of damage. Dudley steps a little too far forward. Actually goes deep into the enemy team. He tries to make a Mantiquia's play, but he isn't able to. A nice snipe in by Ryzen is going to bring it down. No, Santanaka live. He's able to jump back, and now it is all of Kaizen who is very low, or at least 2 members. Ryzen and Mantiquia's went very, very deep for that. Alejandro is up. Kratos is down, so that that generator is back up. The Tinder plan is going to come out, but Sandro Hara, he doesn't care. He is so tanky. He's going to try and dive onto Arnar. A nice snare by Hogan is going to keep him there, but that's going to be the generator going down. Sandro Hara will sacrifice himself for that. He does not care. It was a 2 for 1, and they got the generator. That's going to be gold advantage still towards PLS.
Yeah, at this point, that gold swing was huge. PLS has the advantage. Essentially, it's their game to throw. However, Kaizen has the ability to make them throw it. They have the Shadow Veil. They have the Blazer. They had an unfortunate event where they lost the fight and they were able to get Krydos. They got picked off. They lost 3 people trying to face check. Ray tried to drop a burrow bot in there to kind of scout things out. So it wasn't a complete face check, but they did their best to try to make their way over there and attempt to stop the baited Cindy. I think at this point right now, because Kaizen has some of the good tools on their team with the Blazer on Hogan, they have the Shadow Veil on Ryzen, I think they can still pull a few picks off and try to stall this game as much as possible. I think the wrong thing to do would be try to force too much and lose a couple fights over it.
Well, they've got Hogan sneaking around. Their roaming is 5, which is a good way for them to get a pick and not run into a lot of these team fights. They're actually looking to send 4 here to possibly pick someone. No, it's going to be a very, very hasty retreat out from PLS. They don't want to get anywhere near that. And now they don't really have to worry about the bottom lane, which they still have 2 towers. The middle lane, they actually have 3 towers. They're going to go on the Baldir, extend this gold lead even further. It's up to about 20k. So that's a huge amount of gold. That's a lot of really big items in favor of PLS. And I think they're going to send Sandro Hara forward, and he's just going to face tank this. I think he can. Nachiko's going to take a shot. He's going to need to back up. But Sandro Hara, it's huge. And that's going to be a generator just being pushed straight down. They're going to throw out the ultimate from Rook. It's not going to hit anything. That Deliverance did not land. And now Nachiko, he's off to the side. He might want to be careful of what Hogan can do to him. They're going to throw out the snare. It's going to land on Alejandro, not the target they wanted. Now Nachiko turns around. Huge burst onto Hogan. He's going to need to back up, gets the heal out from Mantiquias, but that's going to be a Baldir and a generator just snug so quickly because they had the bodies to take it and they had the damage.
So I just want to talk about something here. At a certain point in time, just item builds in general, they're talking about it in chat, and I actually 100% agree. At a certain point, boots are really good for your early to mid game, but sometimes you have to resell them to change it up. Some people resell their boots to pick up inertia boots. Essentially, when you hit a certain item threshold in the game, sometimes it's better to change your boots out.
PP-Roo, he's gonna use that hide and seek and does a lot of damage. Holy crap! Hogan gets destroyed. It's so much damage coming in from Santanaka and so much damage coming in from Najiku. They burst him over the side. Now PP-Roo chasing down onto Dudley. He will surely fall. Meanwhile, Sandro Hara is chasing down onto RNR. He's going to just beat on him. Just so much damage. Pops that ultimate. And oh my god, the burst. Sandro Hara is able to destroy a Fetterstone at this point in the game. And Fetterstone actually has a bit of damage that is huge for PLS. They should be able to push down and take the middle generator. I'm not sure what Kaizen's going to be able to do to pick up game 1. They may have to just start thinking towards game 2.
Yeah, at this point in time, like, you look at Shinjo, his build in general, he's got the Hexbane, he's got a Windrush, he's got an Everwinter Charm. 3 huge utility items, and his Hexbane built on a full double health and a regen.
Hide and seek. Ryzen is going to get hunted down. That was a great hide and seek. He missed the stun by inches. And that should be game 1 going over to the side of PLS. They'll bring